back to Streamline Entertainment. It is Marvin speaking. And some of the weird things, obviously, some days later, to basically Jay's inquest, which always sort of played on my mind, even from the early days of this case and what people was saying. One of the things as well is, like I said, the Daily Mail were getting pictures of basically Lucy and Jay in the club. We'll never obviously 100% understand what night it was, but it's presumed it was basically the night morning he went missing. But the weird thing about it, how was so many people, basically news articles, are getting all these pictures? Surely there must be someone out there who've got full videos of these nights that were actually happening, which may tell us something else. And obviously, you see some people in sunglasses, which are part of the crew. I do think there was some kind of operation going on at the end of the day. But it makes you wonder what Lucy was saying to him. Was she warning him that maybe Tom H is in there, or something's about to go off and she's heard it, and for him to get out of there? But like I said, maybe it was actually too late for Jay to actually make moves after some of the rugs he's taken. That there tells you a hell of a lot at the end of the day. And I wish I knew what she said to him there at the end of the day, because Jay didn't look happy. He looked kind of worried as well. If you look at that photo, some of the weird things in this case, which I want to go through. Number one is Jay lookalikes in clubs in Tenerife, which is really really strange. I saw at least two or three people in the run up to watching this case. I think about some months into it, you were actually going, "This is weird." At the end of the day, we did have someone from Black Trafficked who looked like him, and another guy who looked like him as well in the club. And there was a guy who was on a beach that was supposedly uh, looked like Jay, but it wasn't him. There were a lot of weird lookalikes. And this is what made me think in the early days, is this a little bit of a drama? Is this real? What the hell is going on at the end of the day? Because, like I said, even now, we still don't know. We've got a picture in our minds what we think happened, but we still don't know 100% what actually did happen, if that makes sense. Really, really strange, the J lookalikes. I thought it was weird. I really, really did. Missing time, which Ayup stated quite a few times in his video, or basically, well, not him saying that, but like I said, Sleuths mentioning missing time, should I say, but Ayup on about what happened the night before. I mean, did someone lose something the night before and they had to find it? It does seem like to me, I think that a lot of people basically involved maybe were checked that took beats, or got punched or hit. I think these things would happen to keep these youngsters in check by the elders. I think that does happen at the end of the, or they've taken too much, or they haven't made the money that they were supposed to make. I think for these rug runners, I think they told, you've got to make such and such. If you don't make such and such, you're not going to have this or that for tonight. And I think that's the way it runs. And I think it's a lot more hardcore than what we first thought. And I do believe it was one of the reasons why I think Brad maybe had run off, due to what happened to Jay, or saw what happened, because we remember about the nightmares and that, which is unbelievable. The other big thing as well is the beach video and the Maruba boat. Why was it? It wasn't. I mean, we saw basically clear pictures of Abe on the boat, and which looked like Brad and Jay on there as well as some others on there. That was one of the weird scenarios that none of them had really brought it up. I know that basically MWT was pressed to make a comment on it, but he dismissed it straight away. Why was it that millions of people, thousands of thousands, millions of people were on this about the Maruba, and what he was doing, a loop the loop a few times, and we believe it went to a few islands and ended up in Morocco, which is really strange. And that's where obviously Ali Harris had done all her homework to think that basically body that was found of someone between 19 and 22 was Jay, that was picked up from there, and this is why the GoFund was made. I think there was a lot going on in the early days, and a lot of people who knew what happened to Jay, I think, were basically saying, putting it out there with sort of giving us, I know it sounds bad to say, some teasers into think what may happen because they were scared to actually tell us. I think those early days and messages were really, really crucial to this case because it's fresh in people's minds as well. So the beach video in the Maruba, if you remember the eyewitness who said something definitely sinister happened on that beach, and we truly believe that, that was never really brought up by MWT or the family, which is kind of strange, or the coroner's court. I mean, I know basically there were Ali, who sent a lot of things in on Streamline Entertainment's behalf, and also there were Duncan and others who sent things in, and I don't think that was even looked at, which is really, really strange. And this is why people have mentioned PSYOP and keep mentioning things around, is this to still keep us thinking what happened? But I do know money is a massive, whatever we say, conclusion in this case, I think money was a massive part of this in the cover up as well. Going to move on to phones. Surely, like I said, if it was my mate, and like I said, I had a conversation with him and said, look, I would put it up on screen on TikTok and YouTube and say, look, this was my conversation with my mate. These are the times. At the end of the day, I'd even show my my itemized phone bill that this obviously phone call happened or the message service happened. So you can tell it was from my phone, and that you do anything to save your phone. It was funny how not one of them had said, look, you can look at messages on the phone. We obviously had Lucy basically saying that she didn't think it was important and deleted our messages. Brandon, Ayub, Rocky were hearsay on their phones. That wasn't really mentioned, which I found it was really, really weird. Going to move on to number 6, which was like CCTV. I don't care what club it is in the world. At the end of the day, if something went off in that club for safety procedures, there would be cameras everywhere. I mean, this is a picture, so there must be videos of the whole night, and there must be videos of basically Jay leaving with people. I mean, yeah, it was said to be leaving with a few older people. Some of them were supposed to be like big time crime, rugs and other things, enforcers and stuff like that. So who knows? But like I said, unless we see, like I said, more CCTV images, nothing can tell us in even though we know Jay was in a bad way, whether it'd been spiked or whether it'd been taking the rugs himself. But it was weird. He said basically that Sunday afternoon to his mum, he's not gonna really get wrecked because he wants to be fresh for the next day. That didn't make sense to me. And I think Jay's kind of really close to his mum and loved his mum to bits, I think. And I think, well, why would the reason for him lie? And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people think he was spiked or either packing. That came into it with a conversation with Ali as well. But it's odd. But I do think at the end of the day, smell a rat, this is definitely 100% rug related, and MWC said that from the start. And I think this is where the cover is coming in, because I think Brandon and his brother are being protected by Ayub, and I think it will always be that way, because I think I'd say Brandon's brother is probably on that next level up, if you get what I mean. This is what I'm actually thinking on that matter. That CCTV mask was very, very important, because every avenue that we chose to go down, there was some kind of block road where you're actually thinking, what the hell's going on here? This is a lot weirder than what you think. Normally, you get one or two breakthroughs, and the only breakthrough we really had was obviously the eyewitness who saw Jay carried off, and yet these his friends are basically saying that he was in good condition to understand everything that was happening, everything that he was doing, walking off, should I say, leaving the club. He was absolutely fine, having something to eat. That doesn't make sense to me. But like I said, I think they stayed all together, and then a couple of them maybe. Well, you got that point. Did they stay at Masca because it's basically the headquarters? That's a massive possibility. I do think they were up there before. I do think they were up there before because that was the plan, and I think it was to see whether Jay would come with them the first time. I think that was a way to make him feel part of something. I really do think that was. But for me, I know we can't go on forever talking about it, but these are some of, like I said, the weird things that happened in this K. Lookalikes of Jay in Tenerife, missing time. Abe talking about the day before, the night before, should I say, the beach video, Maruba. Really strange. I still can't get my, you know, my mind round it. In like I said, sometimes you're still looking at points 13, 14 months out, and it's really crazy how it was put together. Although it was narrated for us never to find the real truth, should I say. And CCTV, that is the main thing, how people have found out, killers are found in the UK. And you're telling me they haven't got those, those really good cameras in Tenerife. That never made sense to me at the end of the day. That someone has got a video of these NRG club nights. Makes you wonder what's going on. Let me know what you think, people. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment and follow the channel. Appreciate you all. Thank you.